When it was announced around a month ago that Evan Mobley and Darius Garland were going to miss extended periods of time, it really felt like a death sentence for the Cleveland Cavaliers season. I even made a video talking about how, hey, maybe is this a sign that they need to trade Donovan Mitchell sooner rather than later, because is he going to be willing to stay? And yet over Cleveland's last 11 games, they're 8-3. Why? Well, as is the case with anything in the NBA, it's never just one thing, but a big reason has been the play of Jarrett Allen. In those 11 games, Jarrett Allen has averaged 19.4 points per game on 66% shooting from the field, 13.2 rebounds, and 4 assists. Those are all massive upticks from his numbers on the season as a whole. What's caused this resurgence from Jarrett Allen that's helped the Cavs literally save their season? The irony is that the thing that's helped Jarrett Allen play this well is kind of what we thought would doom the Cavaliers. Because as we know, at least from an offensive standpoint, the front court pairing of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley is not such a good fit. Because as we know, neither of them can shoot threes. And because as we really know, you need at least one of those guys to be able to shoot threes in the modern NBA. And so when both of those guys are playing, it leads to a very crowded front court. There's just not a lot of room for either of those guys to operate, which can actually make life more difficult at the offensive end. But when you slot a three-point shooter next to one of those big men, as the Cavaliers have done in the absence of Mobley, with Dean Wade taking his place, and Dean Wade is nearly a 37% shooter from three this season, career 36% outside shooter, things are naturally gonna get a lot easier for that big man, in this case, Allen. And you watch some of the clips of Allen from this 11-game streak, and that's so easily the case. He's so much more aggressive at the offensive end because he can be so much more aggressive, because there's so much more room for him to operate. There's so many more opportunities for him to attack the basket. Whereas I think when he was playing with Evan Mobley, he had to do a lot of thinking and figure out, okay, well, if Mobley's here, then where am I going to operate? It was like he had to overthink things because the front court and the paint was so crowded. But now that the floor is spaced out to the three-point line around him, he could just be a lot more aggressive and just straight line drive and just attack the basket, knowing that no help defender is going to come. At least no help defender is going to come in a way that he's not going to be able to capitalize on and find a three-point shooter. Everything's opened up for him and he's taking full advantage. The irony of Jarrett Allen's insane play, though, is that it's definitely made it very clear, as if it wasn't pretty clear already, that the front court pairing of Mobley and Allen probably isn't going to work. The Cavs just need to find a source of three-point shooting from that power forward spot. Like whatever it gives them defensively is taken away offensively. And as we saw specifically in the playoffs last year against New York, it's just not going to work. You need three-point shooting in the NBA today, and their front court doesn't provide it. So if Jarrett Allen has proved that the two big system doesn't work, and he's done that by playing insanely well, you would think he's won the opportunity to be that lone big man for the Cavs moving forward. But I wonder if instead of going with the guy who got you here in Allen, Cleveland prefers more of the upside of Mobley. Because despite being a pretty big disappointment at the offensive end through 3 years in the NBA, there's a lot of untapped potential with Evan Mobley. Like, this dude was compared to Anthony Davis and Chris Bosh. He was compared as like a hybrid of the two, and part of the reasons he hasn't lived up to those expectations is because he's been sort of playing out of position, where like as we see Jarrett Allen thriving with a bunch of shooters around him, that might be the case with Mobley. And so if you're the Cavs, there isn't really much of an age difference. I was actually pretty surprised to find out that Jarrett Allen's still only 25 years old. Both can still fit the timeline that the Cavs want, but I do wonder if the Cavs' great play and Allen's great play during the stretch makes the Cavs feel like they need to pick a big man if they say, okay, well, Jarrett Allen, this is sort of his ceiling, this is what he's going to be, and what he's going to be is really good. But Evan Mobley, they drafted him number 3 for a reason. He was so hyped coming out of USC for a reason. Are they willing to bank on his potential that much and make him that lone big man, seeing the kind of effect it had on Jarrett Allen and thinking, wow, Mobley has so much more potential than that guy. It could be even better. Trade deadline is in roughly a month, so I guess we'll get a lot of answers then. But either way, what Jarrett Allen has been doing has been impressive, both from an individual standpoint in terms of the numbers have been great, but also from a narrative perspective of it really did feel like Cleveland's season was over. And for it not to be in large part because of him, he deserves a lot of credit for that.